All right, so welcome to the Patreon only cloth brush tutorial. Now this is the jumping off start guide to the cloth brush. I'm not going to show you every single facet of the cloth brush. What I'm going to show you is the biggest points, the biggest pieces that'll make you really comfortable with using the cloth brush to add details, or even a big cloth such as this one for a good wallpaper or any type of product background. There's really infinite possibilities with this. So let's go ahead and start in a new tab here, and I'm going to delete everything. And we're going to Shift A. I'm going to add in a plane. I'm going to show you everything on a plane. It's pretty easy, but you can do this really on any surface. So I'm going to hit S5. We're going to scale it up. I'm going to Control A and apply that scale. I'm going to hit Tab, right click, subdivide, and we're going to subdivide it by 100. It's giving it 100 faces. And then what I'm going to do as well is add in a subdivision surface modifier. If that bogs your computer down too much, you can keep that off. So now we can go ahead and head on over to sculpting. So right here is the sculpt. So you have all these things. If you ever touched sculpting, I'm personally, I don't do sculpting. I've never really touched it outside of the cloth brush here. So we're going to go straight to the cloth brush. Now, if you right click, you can change the strength and the radius of your brush. Now, before we get into the cloth, what I want to break down here is, you see those gray circles right there? That's the limit of the simulation. Now, if you want the simulation to stop there, it'll stop there. But if you want to bring your radius bigger and make it bigger than the plane, then you can make it bigger. And that's what I'm going to do today, just to give you a nice, really dramatic effect here on the cloth brush. What we're going to do now is click this, click Tool, and here's all your tool settings. So what we're going to focus on, we're not even going to touch most of this stuff. You can play with the radius and the strength right here, but a lot of this is a little more specific, and it doesn't really affect the bigger picture here on these pieces. So I'm going to show you all of these specific pieces that really make the cloth brush what it is. And then you can go in on your own time or watch the Blender Guru tutorial, and he'll get into that stuff as well. But I wanted to show you simply this section because this is the coolest part in my opinion. So first we have drag. I'm going to right click and bring my strength pretty high so we can actually see the effect really well. And then we're going to start doing this. Just spin it around until we start getting cloth. Now it's not going to happen immediately, so you're going to have to hold it down, move your mouse around until it really starts to work. So that's how that one works. It's really cool. I just made a really circular, beautiful cloth. Now one thing you can do instead of radial is plane, and this one's really sensitive, especially on heavy, but this works as well on a plane, and it's really great just to add a lot of waves and variations and things like that, and it's really fun. So I like to keep it on radial, but you do have the plane option if you want. We'll go here to push. Now push, just click and start moving it around, and it will make basically a hole or a divot in wherever you are sculpting, and it's really cool. So we have that. We have pinch point, which this one takes a point and pinches it closed, almost, just like if you're pinching something with your fingers. So you really get that really cool effect like that. We have pinch perpendicular, does like the pinch point, but of course it's perpendicular. We have inflate, which is super cool. It brings things up and inflates them just like the name, and that looks awesome. You can have a lot of fun with that, putting something under there or making it just look like there's something is under the cloth, even though there's not. And you don't have to worry about making a real simulation and dropping something on there and all that hectic mess. Let's go here to grab. Grab does this. It's really great. Say I want to bring this out. You can really bring things out with the grab, and that's super, super useful. And let's go here to expand. This one's fun. So expand is great for detail. So say this is, I want to add more wrinkles to this area. It's too flat. You go to expand, and it relaxes it, and it adds those details in the cloth in similar fashion like that. Now we're going to go here to snake hook, which one I don't quite understand, but it adds effects, it does things, and at the end of the day, it is part of the cloth brush, but I need to look into more in that, and the manual isn't quite finished yet. And then we have things like cloth mass and all of these things right up here. It's really sort of push and play and having fun. We can play with hardness here, and doing that hardness really affects a lot. So these parts, you just sort of push and play and see how they work and having some fun. But overall, for those of you who wanted to try to get into it and see how it works, these are the main points that you can go in and play with the cloth brush and have some fun and add details. Of course, you can play with the radius, you can play with the strength, have some fun, and it's actually not a really difficult piece of tech here in Blender, but it is a bit daunting sometimes if you've never heard of it or touched it. So I hope you learned some stuff and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.